Hello everyone, I'm Karthik Ignesh. In this video, I want to talk about database management system lab access number 3, aggregate and built-in functions. So in this one, we have to use the same tables that we have created in the exercise number 2, and we have to just demonstrate the working of aggregate functions and the built-in functions in a database. So the first question is to insert the following tuples given in the given tables. In the deposit table, branch table, and customer borrow table. These four tables we have already seen in the Excel number 2 that we have already created. So we're just gonna insert these values into the already pre-existing tables. So before starting the video recording, I already inserted all the values that needs to be inserted in the table. There were some errors. I have cleared it and I have inserted all the values into the table. So so the first question, sorry. So the first question is over already. Just we have to insert the values into the table and that I've completed that. So moving on, we have the first question here. First question is to list the total loan amount taken by the borrowers. So for listing the total loan amount, we have to just make the sum of the amount in the borrowers table. So I already executed the set of commands once. So I'm just gonna I already executed it once and I've stored it for reference purposes so that it will be easier to go through this in the video. So the first one is to list the total amount taken by the loan amount taken by the borrowers. So for that we just have to have the sum of the amount in the borrowers table. So I'm just gonna execute the first command. The first command here is select sum amount from the borrow table. Amount is the column name. So I'm just gonna execute this one, and it shows us the total amount is 20,000. We can check it by doing, and if we add all these values, we get 20,000 as the output, and that's how this command works. Basically, sum. So next one is to find the total deposit done by the depositors. Again, it's the same concept. You just have to have the sum command here. So the next question command is this one. Select sum amount is the column name from the table deposit. I'm going to execute that, and the total deposit is 29,970. So moving on, list the total loan taken from Andheri branch. So here we are just having a condition that we just have to take it from the Andheri branch and not from anything else. So this command for this is select sum of the amount column from the borrow table where the branch name is Andheri. Rest of the branches will be ignored while taking the sum. So basically in this one, let's see, there are no output here. There's no output here because as you can see there is no branch name called Andheri here. So moving on, the next question is to write a query to find the total deposit of the customers having account date later than 1st of January 1996. So the command for this is to find like same as this one where here we use the condition to check whether the branch name is Andheri, but here in this one the next question we will give the hmm, we'll give the condition as the date is greater than 1st January 1996 for the creation. So here we're gonna use select some amount from deposit where the date is greater than 1st of Jan, and the output is 10,800. That's the correct output. So moving on. So next question is to find the total deposit of the customers living in the city Nagpur. So again, we are just using the sum command with a different set of condition. So I'm just going to execute this one. Here, actually, yeah, in this one we have to take into consideration of two different tables, which is customer and deposit. So we are using this command called inner join. So we are selecting the sum amount from the deposit while joining the customer on customer CNAME and the deposit CNAME, and we are having the condition to check the city as Nagpur in this one. So I'm just going to execute that command, and the output is 5,620. If we check through the tables one by one, we can see that the output is actually correct. So I already checked it once. So moving on to the next one. The next one is to list the maximum deposit of the customers living in Bombay. So again, it's the same concept of this one, but here we are using a different command. I think the list maximum deposit as in the one who has the highest number of highest deposit. So here we are using the same command with the inner join. Instead of sum, we are using max, and instead of the city as Nagpur, we are using it as Bombay. That's the only difference here. And the maximum amount is 7,000. If you can check, it'll if you check from here and we compare it with the next one in the like we are checking from deposit and the customer, right? So when we check from deposit and customer and we check the values, the maximum deposit is here is 7,000, and that's what we get from here. Why are we using inner join for customer is because the city name is not specified in the deposit table. Instead, it is specified only in the customer table. As you can see, only customer table has the city's name. So we are just joining these two tables with the C name as the common anchor point. So moving on to the next question. Next question is to find the total number of branch cities. So it's pretty simple. We are just going to use select count and distinct city from branch. We are just counting different distinct city specifies that the city names are unique. So we are gonna execute the command, and the distinct city is number 4. There are 4 different cities. So next one is to find the total number of customer cities. Basically, it's the same command, but we just have to change the table name from branch to command. Sorry, branch to customer. And in customer table, there are 6 different cities. Moving on, next question is to write a query to display the branch name and branch wise deposit. So in this one, we just have to select the branch name and the amount from the deposit and order it by the branch name. That's why we have to display the branch name and branch wise deposit. That's how this is work. This is done. I'm gonna execute the command, and it has been ordered by the branch name, and branch wise deposit is also displayed here. So the next one is to give the branch wise deposit of the customer after the account date 1st January 1996. So here we are just using the same order by command, but with a condition. It's quite simple. We're just gonna select branch name amount from deposit where the date is greater than 1996, and we are ordering it by branch name. That's it. One minute. Oh, sorry. There's a typo here. Say date. And yeah, as you can see, it has been ordered after it checked whether the account is created after 1st of January 1996, and it has been ordered by branch name, and we can see the amount here, branch wise amount. So next question is to find the total count of the customers. So the customers is basically no, this one. This is the command here. Select count distinct customer name from the customer table. The same as counting the city, but instead of counting distinct city here, we are counting distinct customer names. I'm gonna execute the command, and there are 10 different customers. You can see that from customer table. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Right, 10 rows here, and yeah, we have 10 customers here. So next question is to find the total count of the depositors branch wise. We have to find the branch wise count of depositors. So we're gonna execute this command, and we're gonna order it by branch name, like the same command, but in the deposit table, and we order it by the branch name. And yeah, there's 9 distinct depositors there. And moving on, the next question is to write a query to find the maximum loan from the branch VRCE. So this is the command for it. We are selecting the amount from the table borrow where the branch name is VRC. We have to display the find a maximum loan. So we just have to use the max command here. So it will display the maximum amount, and the maximum amount is 1000 from the branch VRC. So that's the maximum amount of loan that has been done in VRC. So next question is to list the branches having sum of deposit more than 4000. So this is quite simple. We just have to give the select branch name from deposit where the amount is greater than 4000. Pretty straightforward. And these are the branch names that has amount greater than 4000 deposit amount. So next question is to calculate the length of the string DBMS from the dual table. So for this one, this is the command. We are selecting the DBMS string and we are using the length of DBMS from the length from dual table. And as you can see, the length is 4 of the string DBMS. So moving on to the next question. The next question is to display the names of the customers in uppercase. So this is pretty straightforward again. We just have to select the names of the customers and we have to use the command upper to display it in the uppercase. Select upper customer name from the customer table. That's the command for it. And as you can see, all the customer names are displayed in uppercase. Displayed in uppercase. So next question is to display the substring nil from Sunil from the deposit table. So here it's just another. We're just gonna use the command substr. So it's a substring command, and it will be helping us to. And using the index values, we can specify which are the characters that we want in the output. So this is the command here. We have to select customer name substring cname 325 from the deposit table where the customer name is Sunil. So basically, by doing this, we are only selecting the name Sunil by this condition, and since it shows only from 3 to 5, 1 2 3 to 1 2 3 4 5, it will only show NIL in the output. So when we execute it, we'll understand it better. And as you can see, substring of cname 3 to 5 is displayed as nil. So moving on, we have to prefix the account number column with 2 zeros in the deposit table. So again, it's a pretty straightforward command. We have to just select the account number column from the table, and we have to use the concatenate command to add double zeros before the account number. So here we have to just give update deposit, the table name, set the account number is equal to concatenate double zero and the account number, existing account number for each values. So after executing this command, we're just gonna give select star from deposit. As you can see, there are 2 zeros in every deposit now. So the command worked as we needed it to work, as we expected. So next question is to sort the deposit table based on the account number. Pretty straightforward again. We just have to give select star from deposit ordered by account number, and ASC means ascending order. And and the table has been ordered in ascending order. So the next question is to use add months function to add 3 months from the current system date. So it's again pretty straightforward. It's again pretty straightforward. We are just gonna give select add months to the date, and we are giving 3 means 3 months. We have to add 3 months from the table deposit. So I'm gonna execute this command, and the 9 rows has been updated. 9 rows has been selected, and as you can see, all the dates from the previous one has been updated. Let's see now. As you can see, it has added 3 months from the existing date. For example, from March it went to June, and from January it went to April, and from November it went to February of the next year, and so on. So the next question, the final question, is to use round and trunc functions to round off and truncate the value 15. sorry, okay, 15.6789 from dual table. So this is also pretty straightforward. They have already given the commands that we have to use. So the commands that we have to use is truncate and round, and we are just gonna give select trunc the value and round the same value from dual, and it will display the output for us. And yeah, truncate is basically it cuts off the values after the decimal symbol and it will return only the whole numbers. So even if the value is 15.9 or 15.99, it will just display the value as 9. I mean, sorry, it will just display the value as 15. It will just ignore the decimal point values. But in the case of round function, it will display as the values as after rounding off. So basically, if the decimal values is after zero point 0.5, it'll zero point 0.5 or above, it will round off to the next number. If it's 0.5 or 0.4 or below, it will just round off to the previous number. For example, in this case, it's rounding off to 16 here because it has 15.6. 0.6 is greater than 0.5, so it rounded off to 16. If it was like 15.4789, it would have rounded off to 14. Sorry, it would have rounded off to 15 here. Meanwhile, in the truncate command, it just rounded off to 15 no matter what because it just ignores the decimal values. So that's the end of this lab exercise number 3. Hope you guys find it useful. Thank you for watching. See you guys in the next video.